Most people, when they are planning a trip to Hawaii, research what to do. Pack the sunscreen, book the tours, find the best beaches. But really, knowing what not to do can make or break your trip. In this episode, you'll discover 7 important things of what not to do in Hawaii. Plus, we'll talk about what to do instead so you can truly travel with aloha to Hawaii. Aloha and welcome to Hawaii's Best, the podcast helping travelers plan an unforgettable Hawaii vacation with insider tips and featuring local voices. I'm Brian Murphy, a husband, dad of 3, and certified Hawaii destination expert. Each week, I share local insights, travel tips, and up-to-date news, sometimes with guests across Hawaii and sometimes solo, all to help you plan your next trip to Hawaii. Today, we are kind of flipping the script a little bit. We've done a few episodes about what not to do, and these are 7 more things of what not to do in Hawaii, things I haven't really talked about too much in past episodes. So instead of, another list of must-see things to do, I love to share more of what to avoid to help you travel with aloha to Hawaii, staying safe and actually connecting with the people and the islands. And I promise you, these aren't like typical travel warnings. I'm not going to talk about don't forget your passport, which, spoiler alert, you don't need a passport if you are a U.S. citizen. But if you are traveling internationally, you do need a passport to visit Hawaii. I'm not going to talk about, booking early, best prices. I don't even think I mentioned sunscreen on the list, but these are the mistakes that can actually hurt Hawaii's environment, honestly offend local communities, and put you in genuine danger. And honestly, a lot of people visiting have no idea about some of these things. So whether you're planning your first trip or you've been to Hawaii before, these 7 points will help you travel more thoughtfully, because really that's what it is all about, traveling to Hawaii with aloha. So let's go ahead and let's get right into it. Oh, also, the first link in the show notes below, I included a free PDF guide to help you follow along with today's episode, or you can download it after the episode so you can hold on to it for later planning. All right, number 1. Don't misuse the word Hawaiian to describe all locals. This is actually something that a lot of visitors get wrong. Land in Honolulu, meet someone who's lived there their whole life and immediately think, well, I'm talking to a Hawaiian person. If you live in California, you're Californian, but that's really not how it works in Hawaii. Hawaiian means someone of native Hawaiian ancestry, or more appropriately, Kanaka Maoli. So that's really it. The hotel concierge who's 3rd-generation Japanese, they're not Hawaiian. The bartender whose family came from Portugal in the 1800s, also not Hawaiian. Really, only about 10% of Hawaii's population is actually native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, according to the latest census data in 2020. So the right words would be local or kama'aina. These work for anyone who lives in Hawaii or who has been a resident of Hawaii for a while, regardless of their background. It's a small change, but it also shows some big respect to the native population. Number 2, don't stand on or touch coral reefs. This one is simple, but it's crucial. Coral isn't a rock. It's beautiful, but it's not a rock that you can just step on. It's alive, and each piece of coral is made up of thousands of tiny animals called polyps. So when you step on coral, you're potentially literally killing living creatures. And what makes it even worse is that coral grows incredibly slow. Some of the reefs you're snorkeling over took decades to form, and one careless step can destroy years of growth in seconds. And Hawaii doesn't mess around with this either. Damaged coral, you're actually looking at fines of up to $3,000, but just forget the money for a second. Over 50% of Hawaii's coral reefs have already been damaged by human activity, according to NOAA, or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. That's a mouthful. Every person who floats instead of stands helps protect what's left. And the fix is easy. Float when you're snorkeling, keep the fins off the bottom, and your photos will still be epic. And also wear reef-safe sunscreen. Sorry, I didn't think I'd mentioned sunscreen, but yeah, wear reef-safe sunscreen. Let's move on to number 3 is don't swim without a lifeguard nearby or where no one else is in the water. The ocean is beautiful, and honestly, it can look friendly when it's not, but crystal clear water, gentle waves, perfect weather, it all looks so inviting. But Hawaii's ocean can turn dangerous fast, even for strong swimmers. And even for swimmers who have grown up on the beach, maybe on the continental U.S., West Coast, The ocean in Hawaii is just different. The unfortunate fact is that drowning is the leading cause of fatal injuries among visitors to Hawaii. And over 60% of those drownings happen at unguarded beaches or beaches without lifeguards. So if you don't see other people swimming at a beach that you're checking out, there's usually a reason why. It's not that you've stumbled across like an unmarked beach or a secret beach. But maybe there's a strong current that day. Maybe the shore break is too powerful. Maybe there's a rip that locals know about. Lifeguards aren't just there for emergencies. They're really your best resource for current ocean conditions. They'll tell you where it's safe to swim, what to watch out for, and when conditions change, they can let you know. So when in doubt, don't go out, but also ask the lifeguard there. And will be one of the best ways to enjoy Hawaii's waters safely. Number 4, don't hike illegally or start your day late. If a trail is closed, it's not a suggestion. Those closures are there for your safety and often for cultural protection. Some trails cross sacred Hawaiian land and others are closed because of rockfall danger, unstable conditions, or just renovations like Cocoa Head was just, I think about a year or so ago. But what's really concerning with this is that rescue operations for lost or stranded hikers have increased by 30% over the past 5 years. And most of these happen because people either altogether ignore trail closures or they start their hike too late in the day. Hawaii's sun sets fast and trails can seem easy in daylight, but become treacherous in the dark. So you don't want to be that person who needs a helicopter rescue because you thought you could squeeze in a quick hike at 4 p.m. Really, the solution is simple. Start early. If you see a kapu sign, just make sure that means you stay out. That means forbidden, and stick to legal, maintained trails. Your safety and the safety of potential rescuers and Hawaii's resources really depend on it.
I just want to pop in here and say if you found any value in listening to Hawaii's Best is to simply follow the podcast on the app you're using right now. If you're on Apple Podcasts, just tap that little follow button in the top right corner. It's that easy, and doing so helps more people like you who love Hawaii find the show. And now back to the episode.
Number 5, don't forget to throw the shaka when someone lets you in while you're driving. It's kind of a do, but turned it into a don't. See what I did there? Don't forget to shaka. It's important. Driving in Hawaii operates on island time and the aloha spirit for most people who live in Hawaii. Traffic runs a bit slower. People are more patient, typically, and there's really an unspoken agreement to be kind to each other on the road. And so when someone lets you merge in or gives you space in traffic, acknowledge it with a quick wave or even better, a shaka. That's the hang loose gesture with your thumb and pinky extended out. It really goes a long way. It's even such a big deal that the bus that runs in Hawaii, on the back of it, if you let the bus in, they're going to flash a shaka on the back of the bus. And I haven't been that person yet. That's like one of my life goals is to get the shaka by the bus. If you have an opportunity to let the bus in while you're in Waikiki, Honolulu area, be sure to do that so you get the shaka. Number 6 is don't only eat at chain restaurants. You flew over 2,500 miles just to eat at Applebee's? Nothing against Applebee's, but you get what I'm saying. You go down in Waikiki and you got California Pizza Kitchens, you got Cheesecake Factory, etc. Nothing against those places. But Hawaii has one of the most unique food cultures in the world. It's really a melting pot. You've got plate lunches that blend Asian and local flavors. You got poke that's nothing like what you've had on the continental U.S. Simon noodles, malasadas, shaved ice with flavors, just local and amazing. And what's a surprising fact is that roughly 70%, that's 70% of Hawaii's food is imported. So when you eat at local restaurants, you're supporting businesses that source from local farms and fisheries as much as they can. You're keeping money in the community instead of spending it to some corporate headquarters on the mainland. A good little tip is ask your hotel concierge for their favorite local spot. Find the food truck that everyone's talking about. I got episodes also talked about. We had Liza from a Maui blog on, we had a whole 2-part series about where to eat on Maui that's local. I'm definitely going to link those episodes below, so go ahead and check that out. And number 7, probably one of the most important things of what not to do is don't overload your itinerary. And I totally get it. You've saved up for this trip. It's time. You're here. You're in Hawaii and you want to see everything, do everything, experience everything. But Hawaii isn't meant to be conquered like Disneyland. It's meant to be savored. Pack your schedule too tight and you'll spend more time rushing between activities than actually enjoying them. You'll miss the spontaneous moments like finding that perfect beach that no one told you about where there's still lifeguards, or sitting with locals who want to share stories about their island. You don't want to rush those moments. And island time, it's not a cute saying. It's not just a cute saying. It's a reminder to slow down, leave gaps in your schedule, plan for maybe one big thing per day, not 5, and give yourself permission to change plans if you discover something better or unique along the way. The magic of Hawaii happens in the spaces between your planned activities. Don't just schedule it away. It kind of reminds me of that John Lennon quote from the song Beautiful Boy. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. So take time for that as you are in Hawaii. And really what this all comes down to is mindful travel, respectful travel, traveling with aloha, all those catchphrases, because when you follow these tips, you're not just avoiding problems or following the rules, you're actually contributing to something positive in the islands and leaving it better than you found it. People who live in Hawaii, they notice when visitors care about their home. They notice when you take the time to learn the difference between Hawaiian and local. And they notice when you're careful around the reefs and respecting trails and the culture. And that respect, it goes a long way. It comes back with maybe better recommendations, warmer interactions with others, and experiences that you can't get any other way. Again, if you want to hold on to this info, just go to the first link in the show notes below, and I included a free PDF guide. And if you want to dive even deeper into all things Hawaii, check out our Supercast page. I also linked that in the show notes below. And there are episodes that are unreleased that you can have access to by signing up for a Supercast account. All right, and I'll see you again next week. So until then, as always, live with aloha.
Mahalo for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. To stay up to date on future episodes, hit follow on your podcast app. Hawaii's Best is a production of Shorebreak Media Group with editing by Easy Podcast Solutions and music courtesy of our friends Stick Figure.